How often have we found ourselves relinquishing pieces of our identity for the sake of others, believing that by doing so, harmony will prevail or relationships will flourish? The sacrifices may start small, an afternoon given up, a priority postponed, but over time, they compound. Our time, energy, even the dreams that once defined us begin to slip through our fingers, traded for fleeting approval or momentary peace. We tell ourselves it's temporary, a necessary compromise, a noble gesture of selflessness. Yet, beneath the surface, the toll is profound. When we habitually prioritize others' expectations over our own inner needs, we erode the very essence of who we are. Our sense of purpose becomes blurred, our peace elusive, and we are left asking, "Who have I become?" The Stoics, ancient masters of resilience and wisdom, warned against such self-abandonment. They recognized that true fulfillment is not found in pleasing the world, but in preserving the elements that make us whole. In their timeless teachings, the Stoics offered a powerful truth. There are things in life that must never be sacrificed, no matter the pressures we face or the people we wish to appease. These non-negotiables are self-respect, health, dreams, values, and happiness are not luxuries but necessities. They are the foundation of a life well lived, a life of integrity and purpose. Today, we'll delve into these 5 pillars, exploring how Stoic philosophy illuminates their significance and teaches us to guard them fiercely. For those who seek not just to exist, but to thrive, this journey is an invitation to rediscover what truly matters and to reclaim the strength to live in alignment with your highest self. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." Let us begin. 1. Self-respect, the unshakable foundation of your being. Self-respect is not merely a fleeting feeling or an abstract ideal. It is the bedrock upon which our identity, decisions, and life experiences are built. It shapes how we see ourselves and, in turn, sets the tone for how others perceive and treat us. When we honor our self-respect, we declare to the world, "This is who I am. These are my principles. This is my standard, and I will not compromise it." Yet, all too often, this foundation is eroded, not by a sudden calamity, but by 1,000 small concessions. Tolerating disrespect, remaining silent in the face of injustice, or accepting less than we deserve. The Stoics understood that self-respect is not a privilege but a necessity. Epictetus, a philosopher who rose above the chains of slavery, taught that our inner dignity is the truest measure of freedom. To abandon it is to relinquish our most precious possession, not to others, but to the whims of fear, approval, or convenience. Marcus Aurelius echoed this sentiment, reminding himself and us that to live without integrity, to act against our principles, is to live in inner discord, a state where peace becomes impossible. But why is self-respect so easily sacrificed? Often, it stems from a desire to avoid conflict, maintain relationships, or gain external approval. We convince ourselves that keeping the peace is worth the personal cost. Yet each let-it-slide moment chips away at our sense of worth, leaving us feeling hollow and disconnected from who we are. The irony is that the approval we seek rarely compensates for the respect we lose in its pursuit. To the Stoics, the solution lies in boundaries, not as barriers to keep others out, but as guidelines to protect the sacred space within. Boundaries signal what we will and will not tolerate, teaching others how to engage with us while reaffirming our value to ourselves. Setting these boundaries requires courage, for they may provoke resistance or even rejection. But as Epictetus taught, we cannot control how others react. We can only control our commitment to upholding our dignity. True self-respect transcends ego. Ego demands admiration. Self-respect demands integrity. Ego seeks validation from the world. Self-respect seeks alignment with one's values. When we prioritize the latter, we not only protect our inner peace, but also attract relationships and opportunities that reflect our worth. Living with self-respect is not always easy. It may mean walking away from situations, jobs, or relationships that no longer honor who we are. It may mean enduring discomfort or facing criticism. But in choosing self-respect, we gain something far more valuable: the ability to live authentically and with unwavering inner strength. The world may test your boundaries, but as the Stoics remind us, your self-respect is the armor that allows you to stand firm amidst the trials of life. Guard it fiercely, for it is the foundation upon which everything else is built. 2. Health, the anchor of a resilient life. Health is the silent foundation upon which every aspiration, achievement, and relationship depends. It is the unseen thread that weaves together our physical vitality, mental clarity, and emotional stability. Yet, in a world that glorifies relentless ambition and celebrates the grind, health is often relegated to the background, a priority we promise to address someday. The Stoics, with their unflinching commitment to living wisely, would caution us against this dangerous neglect. For without health, every other pursuit becomes fragile, and the joys of life, no matter how abundant, become inaccessible. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor burdened with the weight of an empire, understood this deeply. In his meditations, he reflected on the body as a vessel that must be cared for, not out of vanity, but as an essential duty. He knew that if the body falters, so too does the mind, and with it, the capacity to reason, lead, and thrive. To the Stoics, health was not a luxury but a responsibility, an act of stewardship over the only vehicle we have to navigate this life. In our modern world, the sacrifices we make in the name of productivity often come at the expense of our well-being. Sleepless nights, skipped meals, chronic stress, all are lauded as badges of honor in the relentless pursuit of success. But the Stoics would call this approach akrasia, a failure to act in alignment with what we know is best. To push our bodies and minds to their limits without care is not strength, it is folly. True health, as the Stoics taught, is holistic. It encompasses the physical, mental, and emotional realms, each interdependent and essential. Epictetus emphasized the importance of living in harmony with nature, a principle that includes listening to the needs of our bodies and minds. Neglecting our health is akin to expecting a parched tree to bear fruit. It is an unsustainable endeavor. This does not mean chasing perfection or obsessing over fitness trends. The Stoic approach to health is one of balance and mindfulness. It is the discipline of consistency, choosing rest when needed, movement when appropriate, and nourishment that sustains rather than depletes. It is also the cultivation of mental peace, for the Stoics recognized that an agitated mind can be as damaging as a weakened body. Marcus Aurelius urged himself to let go of worries beyond his control, understanding that inner tranquility is as vital to health as exercise or diet. To care for our health is not selfish, it is an act of service. It allows us to show up fully for the people who rely on us and to pursue our purpose with vigor and clarity. The Stoics remind us that we cannot pour from an empty cup, nor serve others from a place of depletion. When we prioritize our well-being, we are not only honoring ourselves but also ensuring that we have the strength to contribute meaningfully to the world around us. At its core, the Stoic philosophy teaches us to value what is truly essential, and health stands at the top of that list. It is not something to sacrifice for external validation or fleeting achievements. It is the bedrock that supports every aspect of a fulfilling life. Protect it, nurture it, and let it serve as the anchor that steadies you through the storms of existence. For as the Stoics would remind us, a life lived in balance is not only wiser but also infinitely more enduring. 3. Dreams, the path to your authentic self. Dreams are more than fleeting fantasies or idealistic notions. They are the compass that points us toward our truest selves. They embody our deepest aspirations, calling us to explore the potential that lies dormant within. Yet, all too often, dreams are the first things we place on the altar of sacrifice. We set them aside for practicality, telling ourselves we'll return to them when the time is right, when responsibilities lighten or circumstances align. But as the Stoics remind us, postponing our dreams is not a delay. It is a denial of who we are meant to become. To the Stoics, living without purpose was akin to living without life itself. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the concept of duty, the idea that each individual has a unique role to fulfill in the grand tapestry of existence. Our dreams are not indulgent whims, but vital expressions of this duty. Ignoring them is not just a loss to ourselves. It is a disservice to the world. When we suppress our aspirations, we silence the unique contributions we are meant to make, leaving behind a void only we can fill. Fear is one of the greatest adversaries of dreams. It whispers doubts into our minds, urging us to stay within the bounds of comfort and predictability. Fear convinces us that failure is final, that the pursuit of something greater is reckless. But the Stoics had a radically different view. They saw fear not as a barrier, but as an opportunity for growth. The impediment to action advances action, wrote Marcus Aurelius. What stands in the way, they believed, is often the way itself. By confronting the fears that hold us back, we cultivate resilience, wisdom, and clarity, the very qualities needed to bring our dreams to fruition. It is not only fear that threatens our dreams, but also the voices of others. Friends, family, and society often impose their own limitations on us, encouraging us to play it safe, to conform to expectations. While their intentions may be kind, their perspective is not ours to adopt. As Epictetus taught, our path is uniquely ours, and no one else can walk it for us. Seeking external validation for our dreams is to surrender their power to those who cannot fully grasp their importance. Living in alignment with our dreams requires courage, a willingness to endure discomfort, to face rejection, and to embrace uncertainty. Yet, the pursuit of dreams is not about reaching a flawless destination. It is about the transformation that occurs along the way. Each obstacle becomes a lesson, each setback a chance to refine our approach. The Stoics would urge us to see the journey itself as the reward, for it molds us into the people we are destined to become. Fulfilling our dreams is not a selfish act. It is a profound service to ourselves and the world. When we live authentically, pursuing what ignites our passion, we inspire others to do the same. Marcus Aurelius believed that realizing our potential contributes to the greater good, creating ripples of impact far beyond what we can see. In this way, our dreams are not just personal, they are a gift, both to ourselves and to humanity. So, do not let fear, doubt, or the skepticism of others convince you to abandon your dreams. They are a reflection of your purpose and an essential part of your identity. Nurture them with persistence and faith, for they are the path that leads you to a life of meaning, fulfillment, and legacy. The Stoics remind us, the world may try to divert you, but your dreams are yours alone to protect and pursue. Follow them boldly, for they are the truest guide to your authentic self. 4. Values. The compass guiding a life of integrity. Values are not just abstract ideals. They are the moral compass that guides us through the complexities of life. They define who we are, shaping our decisions, actions, and relationships. Without them, we drift aimlessly, vulnerable to external pressures and fleeting desires. Yet, values are often the first casualty when faced with adversity or temptation. We compromise them to fit in, to avoid conflict, or to gain short-term rewards, convincing ourselves that these small betrayals are harmless. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that abandoning our values, even in the smallest ways, corrodes the foundation of our character. For the Stoics, values were sacred, non-negotiable truths. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful figures in history, could have indulged in luxury, power, and excess without consequence. Instead, he chose to live with humility, discipline, and kindness, constantly reminding himself to stay true to his principles, even when the world around him tempted him to stray. To him, values were not conditional. They were constants, unshaken by circumstances or the opinions of others. Compromising our values might seem easier in the moment, but it comes at a profound cost. Each time we let go of what we believe in, we chip away at our sense of self. Over time, these small concessions accumulate, leaving us disconnected from who we truly are. The Stoics would argue that this disconnection is the root of much inner turmoil. Living out of alignment with our values creates a life of regret and self-doubt, where we are constantly justifying decisions that we know, deep down, were not right. Staying true to our values requires courage, for the path of integrity is rarely the path of least resistance. It means standing firm in a world that often rewards compromise and conformity. It means risking criticism, isolation, or loss in order to honor what is most important. As Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." True strength lies in the ability to uphold our principles, even when others misunderstand or oppose us. Values are not just personal. They are the foundation of meaningful relationships and a harmonious society. The Stoics believe that real connection is built on mutual respect and shared principles. Any relationship that requires you to compromise your values is not a relationship worth keeping. Seneca taught that living with integrity brings peace of mind, a state of being where you can look back on your actions without regret. In contrast, sacrificing your values for the approval of others leaves you with nothing but hollow victories and lingering guilt. To live a life of virtue, the Stoics remind us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our words, and our adherence to our values. We cannot dictate how others will respond or whether they will understand our choices. But we can choose to act with integrity, setting a standard that not only guides us but also inspires those around us. Values are the anchors that keep us steady amidst the chaos of life. They remind us of what truly matters and provide the clarity needed to navigate even the most challenging situations. Upholding them is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. For in the end, it is our values, not our successes or failures, that define the legacy we leave behind. The Stoics would tell us, hold fast to your values, for they are the essence of who you are and the key to a life of purpose and fulfillment. 5. Happiness, the quiet strength of inner peace. Happiness, in its truest form, is not the fleeting rush of pleasure or the excitement of achievement. It is the quiet strength of inner peace. It is the profound contentment that arises when we live in alignment with our values, embrace the present moment, and free ourselves from the endless chase for external validation. Yet, in today's world, happiness is often treated as a distant reward, something to be earned after we've accomplished enough, sacrificed enough, or proven enough. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, remind us that this is a dangerous illusion. The Stoics believe that happiness, what they called eudaimonia, is not dependent on wealth, power, or status, but on living a life of virtue and purpose. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of finding contentment within, cautioning against the trap of constantly seeking fulfillment in external circumstances. Very little is needed to make a happy life, he wrote. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This perspective is both liberating and challenging. It places the responsibility for happiness squarely on us. One of the greatest barriers to happiness is the tendency to place it in the hands of others. We look to relationships, social approval, or material success to fill the void within, only to find that these things, while meaningful, cannot sustain lasting joy. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus taught that true happiness comes from focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. To rely on external sources for happiness is to hand over our peace to forces beyond our influence. Another obstacle to happiness is our inability to embrace the present. We tell ourselves, "I'll be happy when we get the promotion, achieve the goal, or solve the problem." But as Marcus Aurelius observed, constantly chasing the future robs us of the ability to savor the now. True happiness is not found in a distant destination. It is cultivated moment by moment through gratitude, mindfulness, and acceptance. It is the ability to find joy in the simple, the ordinary, and the imperfect. Protecting our happiness also requires boundaries. It means learning to say no to people, obligations, and situations that drain our energy or undermine our peace. This is not selfishness. It is self-preservation. The Stoics believe that tranquility, or ataraxia, is essential to a well-lived life. To allow others to disrupt our peace is to surrender control over our emotional well-being. True happiness is found when we prioritize our needs and guard against the distractions that pull us away from what matters. Finally, the Stoics remind us that happiness is not about avoiding pain or difficulty. Life will inevitably bring challenges, losses, and hardships. But as Epictetus taught, these moments are opportunities for growth. Hardship introduces us to ourselves, revealing our resilience and teaching us to find meaning even in adversity. Happiness, then, is not the absence of struggle, but the strength we build in facing it. At its core, happiness is a practice, a daily commitment to nurturing inner peace, focusing on what we can control and letting go of the rest. It is about choosing gratitude over dissatisfaction, purpose over distraction, and authenticity over conformity. The Stoics believe that when we live with this mindset, happiness becomes unshakable, a steady flame that burns even in life's darkest moments. Do not sacrifice your happiness for anyone or anything. It is not a luxury or an afterthought. It is the essence of a life well lived. Protect it fiercely, for it is both your greatest strength and your most profound gift. As the Stoics would remind us, the world may clamor for your attention and approval, but your happiness is yours alone to cultivate. Choose it, nurture it, and let it guide you toward a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. Conclusion. In a world filled with distractions, demands, and endless expectations, it can be easy to lose sight of the things that truly define us. Yet, the Stoics remind us that our self-respect, health, dreams, values, and happiness are not negotiable. They are the pillars that sustain a life of integrity, purpose, and fulfillment. To sacrifice them is to sacrifice ourselves, and no external reward is worth such a profound loss. Living by these principles is not always simple. It takes courage to stand firm in the face of pressure, discipline to guard what matters, and wisdom to recognize when the world asks too much of us. But the rewards of such a life are immeasurable. Inner peace, unshakable strength, and the knowledge that you are living in alignment with who you are meant to be. As you move forward, remember that the journey to self-mastery and fulfillment is not about perfection. It is about persistence. Each day offers an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to these pillars and to choose a path that honors the deepest parts of yourself. The Stoics understood that life's greatest challenges are often the greatest teachers, and every step you take toward protecting these core truths brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. If today's reflection has inspired you, consider joining our growing community by subscribing to the channel. Together, we can continue exploring the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and the ways it can empower us to live with strength, clarity, and purpose. Your journey is unique, but you don't have to walk it alone. Let's build a life of meaning, one principle at a time. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. Until next time, remember, what is within you is far greater than anything the world may demand of you. Protect it fiercely, live it fully, and let your life be a testament to what truly matters.